So here are these two large frames, and one is sideways and the fourth one is being created here. They are held together by these L-shaped metals and two screws on this side, and on this side also two screws. Each and every part has an L-shaped metal, L-shaped metal, metal. It has 1, 2, 3 and 4 linkages. Those. Here are the L-shaped metals. These are the screws. Here we have a screwdriver, here we have a drill, 90 degrees, centimeters, and a pencil. So let's measure 10 centimeters. You can lock this one by pushing it down. Drew a small line there. Put the 90-degree tool on it. So this side on the wood. And drew the line. Here's the L. I have to place it there to that line. I place the wood there to the line until the line is barely visible. Now put it in contact and make sure the two sides are equal up and down that way. Hold it. I use the pencil and draw two circles. I'm going to use those two holes only. Now that's a 3mm drill bit. And of course the drill bit should not go till the other side, so make it shorter. Release it, push it in and tighten it. Now the drill bit should not go outside. Put the L there, put a screw here and another one there. And tighten it, let's say 99%. Leave a little bit of play for now. Something like that. And this way do the rest of them. So the next one should be there. And we have the third and the fourth one. Of course the entire project is done here on a laptop. This is SolidWorks. Okay, and that's the 100mm that I was using. That's the lower part, the first stage, and then the second, third and fourth. So this is already ready, but I'm keeping it there next to these just to make less mistakes. So here's the new line, because before somehow after double checking, triple checking, I still made some mistakes. And of course the ends are in line. Exactly, this one has equal sides, so this is equal with that one. So you can place it this way, or you can flip it around and you can place it that way also. But not all of them are equal, by the way. As you might see, this is not exactly 90 degrees. That will create another problem. So here's this 90-degree tool. And as you can see, it's not 90 degrees. Get another one, which will be this one, and see which side is not as beautiful. This one less beautiful. Put that one up, shelves will be on that side, so this will be visible from below. So put it there, watch the sides here, center it this way, push it to the left to that L. We have a screw here, so we won't put the next screw into that one, but let's say up there to leave a little bit of space. Since this is empty, we can put the other screw there. Make a drawing. We have to drill to the top portion of that circle. Top portion here also. Top and not the center, because otherwise it might leave a gap there. So if we put the screw higher a little bit, then it will be pushed down more. Of course it entered exactly into that circle. So we have these lines of the wood. Those lines are harder and between two lines is softer. So your drill bit should not go exactly onto a line, because from there it will automatically jump either to the right or to the left. Better put it a little bit to the side and then come back after the hole is a little bit deeper. The hole which is closer to the bottom, it should not be exactly straight but slightly at an angle, because otherwise you will barely introduce the screw there because there's not enough space here. So let's just drill on the right side of that circle and tilt it. Now get two screws. Of course these are shorter than the wood itself, otherwise they can exit. On the other side, if you take a look from here, the hole is not in the center but on the top, so that will create a little bit of down force when you tighten these screws also, and thus there should be no gap between the two pieces. Now the screwdriver has to be held upside down. You can tighten those but leave those a little bit loose. And from this angle you can see that the left side is in contact, and since these are a little bit loose, they can be straightened a little bit to the right and then tighten those so that there will be no gap here. And I repeat with all of them. And then this will be placed on top of this one. Now another thing, we have two L's here and two L's there, but I'm always measuring the distance for this and this from this end, the distance for this and this from this end, so that many centimeters there and that many centimeters there. I'm not measuring it from here to the third one and from here to the last one, because these woods are not exactly the same in length, maybe 1 or 2 millimeter more or less, and then the end would be out. Take care what wood are you using, because this one is a little bit wider than that one, and I placed this one there and the L was not at the correct position but slightly more down, so take care what you're using. So here's the end, and if I use this one, put this side in one line, then that line is not visible because this is larger and it goes over a few millimeters. This wood has lacquer on the surface and the mark of the pencil is barely visible, slightly. There is this gap, so I have to create the hole on the bottom side of this opening. And now it's at 90 degrees. The metal was deformed by the screws. The screws pulled everything to 90 degrees. Plus there is no gap up here. And now tighten these two also. So L is at 90 degrees and there's no gap. And all four are ready. They are held by those L brackets. When cutting with the jigsaw, taking in consideration the thickness of the blades also. So the thickness is 1 millimeter, and thus draw two lines here, and the blade will go between those two lines. And when cutting with the jigsaw, don't push the jigsaw only forward, but slightly move it backward and forward, and this way it will cut a little bit from the top edge, and when it's moved the other way, then it will cut slightly from the lower edge. Plus here at the end, when the last line is broken, there also move it backward, so it will gradually cut down this portion and not at once, because it might tear it apart. So just bounce it like that. Now here's another problem. Here are 3 logs, and based on the top edge all of them are in one line, but based on the lower edge this one is a bit to the left, that one is to the right, that one is also to the right. That is because the blade of the jigsaw is moving a little bit to the left and to the right, it's not cutting always straight. I would like to drill a hole there into that part, but this portion of the drill is not letting me introduce it there. So what to do? Well, luckily this portion of the drill is removable. So all you have to do is twist the handle and these two will come apart and it will loosen up this portion. You can even remove it like so. And now you can introduce it there and drill the hole. So here's a corner and I'm just holding it with my hand, but you should make these two holes for the screws, because if you insert a screw from here, nothing is back there. Of course the screws are not too long either. So one screw here because nothing is there, and the other screw can be down because there's nothing on the other side. The same thing on this corner. We have 1, 2, 3 and 4 lugs here. This one is inserted in the lower hole because nothing is there. This is inserted also down because there's nothing there. So all of them have one up and one down, one up and one down, one up and one down. And thus each and every screw is avoiding the other, so the two ends won't be in one line. So this screw is not interfering with anything, there's nothing down there. So here's this door, this one. It's mounted onto this wood, and the hinge is here on the back part, so I need to attach another piece of wood with 2 screws, this and that one, and then the back side of the hinge is supported, and you can open it and close it. The same up there, so it has 2 hinges. The next door in the same manner. So onto this one I attached another hinge on the other side for this door. Maybe you can see it, it's pretty dark here. Okay, so this side is not yet mounted. I reused some woods, and thus they have those holes that goes up to that L bracket thing. Okay, and these are the doors. The hinges are already mounted, and I just need to create 2 holes somewhere there. I should have around 5 millimeters between the lower side and the top side of the 2 doors. I have to climb up here on the ladder. So here's the door. I have to place it onto that wood. Add this thing onto the top. Okay, and it's holding it. And here's the problem, I don't have the required distance, so that thing is not tall enough. I need to add another one. Lift it up. Maybe a thing also. And let it down. Around 5 millimeters. I have 4 and a little bit. Now up here I should add 2 screws, one inside here, one there, plus make 2 holes. Now I don't have enough screws, but I will use a shorter one and a longer one. So let's insert the long one there. Okay, now I should remove this one. Now the hinge is moving slightly up and down. Now only the top one is holding it. Push it towards you. I make the hole in the center of that opening so that I can adjust it up or down, the door. The LED of this one turned off. We have a gap here that can be adjusted from this screw. This is at a much smaller angle. This is at a bit larger angle. Now we can open it. The top portion is way too close, while there's gap on the lower side. So let's increase the gap here. Now there is no noise. Now on the outside the door is way too much to the left and the other one can't close. So we need to push this door to the right. And it can be done from this screw to the right. The lower side is better, but of course I need to adjust the top one also. To the right. There is friction already, so I need to push it that way and lock it. Now there is no friction, but it's not closing either, as you can see. So totally opening it has this disadvantage. Now it's closing, but it's way too close. So in this case I should move this door to the left a little bit. This line will not be in the center anymore, but at least both of them will close. Now here's another problem. The door cannot be opened because it's in contact with this one. So I cannot move this one inside anymore, but instead I should bring the door outside. And now it's opening. But of course it's very close. It's still mostly in one line. Tiny rubber here on the end so that it will close softer. So here's a screw, it's flush with the surface. Here's another one and it's deeper. Okay, and here's a drill. That's the drill bit and that's the limiter. That area, which is full of sawdust right now, that one is making the hole itself, and this is the limiter. You can use a hexagonal key inside that one and you can move these circular elements up or down. If you move it up, then it will create a larger hole and the screw will go even more down. If you bring it to the right, down, then it will create a more shallow hole like that one. And something similar, it has a key, and with this you can adjust the depth. So this is just a ring. And that one is creating the hole, these teeth. Using the other screw, that one, you can remove this entire thing from the drill bit. This is not a precise one. This cylindrical part should be longer, otherwise it's moving this way. The surface is cylindrical, the screw is not exactly perfect, so you cannot fix it very well. Plus the thread of these screws might be weak. Look, it's not straight. So the thread on this screw, the lower one, and that lower one is pretty bad. It's rotating on the drill bit. The drill is rotating and this stays in place, so I cannot tighten it. I already drilled some deeper holes because the screw is not long enough.